Hey guys, my video tonight is celebrating my fight with bryopsis. I think I'm claiming victory over it. There's no longer any in the tank. Everything is really happy. I've just done a water change, so I've stirred some things up, so it's probably going to be a little bit cloudy. You'll see some little particulates everywhere. Those guys are especially happy, especially since I fed them. I fed all my corals and fish. I need a name for these guys. Just been calling them righty and lefty. And so if any of you guys have any suggestions, please comment below and hopefully we can find a winner. I'd like to tell you a little bit about my fight with bryopsis. All of these rocks started in a 30-gallon tank. I had bought all the rocks, got me an emerald crab, and had just maybe 2 or 3 pieces of coral, and everything was fine. And went on for about 3 or 4 months. All I was feeding it was the crab, basically, and just every once in a while I would feed my zoas. And all of a sudden, I bought a couple frags, and next thing you know, what I thought was a hair algae outbreak. And it was just unrelenting. No matter how hard I tried, I could never beat this thing. It was really hard to figure out where it came from, especially since I was only feeding an emerald crab. And it actually showed up about the time that I got this fella right here. It had several little pieces of zoas on it. It's got a mushroom. And I'm not sure that that's the culprit, but I'm pretty well speculating that it was. I would take out all the rocks, I would brush them, clean them, put them back in. Maybe by a week and a half, it was all back everywhere in the tank. And this went on. So finally, I got my 40-gallon tank, which is what you see here. It's a C-vue 40. And I went, cleaned all the rocks, got me a couple fish. Thought maybe if I add more rocks, better sand, new sand, got a better filter set up. I thought that I would win the war on the hair algae. Nope. It all looked really good when I first put it all in there. It was like everything was clean. I really watched my feedings, and lo and behold, about 2.5 weeks later, covered in hair algae. And I thought maybe one of the rocks that I bought was just putting off phosphates. So I took them out, put them all in that 30-gallon tank. The 30-gallon tank bloomed out in the algae. So I thought, well, maybe that was it. Thought I was going to be able to get rid of it all now. Fought it. Got some Fosguard, GFO, everything. Daily water changes. Thought I could beat it that way. Could never beat it. And lo and behold, I let some of it grow out just a little bit because I kind of gave up. And I started seeing that it was branching. Kind of branching off, not typical of hair algae. And it kind of looked a little bit like a fern. So I made the decision there it was bryopsis. So I got some reflux, treated with reflux, and let me tell you guys, if you treat yours with reflux, it took me maybe about 10 days before I could really start telling the difference. I mean, there was almost no difference for the first 10 days. Thought that this stuff was not going to work. And from day 10 to day 14, it wiped it out. So now I'm back to just nice clean water. Well, sort of clean, as you can see all the stuff floating around in it. But, it's all looking really good. And I'm really happy with my tank again. Tomorrow, I'm going to start doing some fragging. Especially want to frag these fellas. I love these. And these especially. Those look really good under the blues. I believe those are the lime green or green tea with lime. I'm not sure exactly the name of those. And but one good thing did come out of this that I'll mention. I read where raising your magnesium could help fight hair algae, and especially bryopsis. Well, as I found out, I think only Kemp Marine magnesium will do this. I raised my magnesium, and the only good thing that came out of that was that my corals just seemed to explode. They were doing okay, but as soon as I raised the magnesium up above, it was around 1100, and I think I raised it up to around 1800, and these corals just exploded. These pallies right here, I think I only had 5 heads about 2 months ago, and they have just taken off. And as you can see, most of these frags just had 1 or 2, and this was about 2 months ago. So the magnesium has really, really helped. I've kept the magnesium levels way up, and I got a kit with iodide and some strontium, and we're going to see if adding that will help. Maybe I could keep a daily vlog. You can see how they grow or die, just depending on how it goes. But I'm a little, I'm not going to add much of this stuff because I don't have any test kits for it. Not sure that adding, a whole lot will hurt anything, but I'm not sure that it won't. So I'll just be adding a few drops here and there, and hopefully we'll come out on a good note. But I just thought I'd keep you guys updated that, now I am really, really happy with this tank. And my 30-gallon tank, which seems to be clear of the bryopsis also. But any of you guys who have a hair algae outbreak, one way to tell that it might be bryopsis, if your tank is going great, and then you add something. If, you get something from your, fish store, and next thing you know, you've got an outbreak that you can't control, then it might be bryopsis. If it just comes out of nowhere, it's bryopsis probably. As long as you've bought something. It's not going to just form in your tank just out of nowhere. You have to actually introduce the cells into the tank. And that's what I did somehow, either on the live rock or on some of these corals. I might have bought a couple frags along with this rock, but it was right about the time that I got that fella right there. Now I did have some SPS skeletons that I had in with some of the live rock that I thought maybe it was releasing some nutrients. So I got it all out, put it in that 30-gallon tank, and of course it exploded. But now I'm pretty sure that it was just bryopsis. It was not a whole bunch of nutrients, because I've kept my nutrients at bay. I even went for a couple days, in between feeding on the fish. Still, just did not stop this stuff. I could only make it just a lighter shade of green. I could never kill it out, so. But Reflux definitely did the job. So now we just got to work on getting a name for these guys. And maybe start naming my fish. I'm thinking about Bertha for her. Or maybe find some names of some female murderers, because she's killed a couple of my other clownfish. Or at least helped in their suicides, let's put it that way. There's my damsel. Love my damsel. He or she holds its own. When I first put it in, our clownfish kind of stood up against it, but it didn't back down. I was pretty proud of that. It didn't let itself get bullied. But hopefully each day as I add all these, I'm going to have to add more magnesium, since I've done a rather large water change today. Get my magnesium back up, and we'll just see what happens. So I hope to see you guys around. Check me out tomorrow. Please like and subscribe. Thanks a lot, guys.